What's going on, everyone? CPAT here with another Exceed commentary. Today we have Gently on the call for the first time ever. Welcome to the channel.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be
And
here.
we have our first ever cast of the Pooky's Barfight Night tournament. So this is yet another tournament with Season 1 and Season 2. It's weird how so this is in the Breakfast Club Discord, by the way. It's weird how they have two of them just like so close to each other, but I mean, I guess there was demand for it.
Yeah, especially since the mentor tournament was a knockout elimination. So
Yeah, I guess that did introduce
was,
a lot of... Did you sign up for this tournament or no?
I did, yeah. I'm in the losers bracket
Oh, so it's double
right
one.
now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But we have
Yeah.
Ashlyn on red side. Her team is Devris, Taisei, and Jeanette. She's going to be leading the Jeanette against Hans. We just casted Hans yesterday and maybe earlier last week as well. Very outspoken new player bringing the Renea, the Ulrich, and the Eva. Right off the bat, we have a Season 2 versus Season 2 here. Ashlyn with the Jeanette against Hans on the Renea.
Yep. Both of them start by Mullen 3.
Yeah, should be
Makes sense.
an
This
interesting
feels
one.
like an option where both players want fairly specific options going in.
Okay, there's a transform. It's curse. Affliction transform is pretty good. It's probably it's not the
probably the most core D-Gen transform in a lot of cases, especially in the matchup where Renee can throw in a lot of different options because of their boost mix-up.
It's definitely not the it's not the Black Death transform, which I think if that comes out turn 1, I think Jeanette just jumps up so much in power level, getting that ritual magic down. But I mean, Curse the Earth, just having the special attacks with extra range is pretty good. And we see Renea face down boost. Of course, we'll take a look at the Renea UA here. You may play continuous boost face down, and they get revealed before you set cards for strike. It's a very interesting mechanic. Notably, Renea doesn't really have too many continuous boosts on her cards because she's a Season 2 character. So she has the Fake Out, which is a prep, and she has a Swift, and she's a Now Move 1, which is kind of the one that you want to watch out for because you can kind of get surprised by it and just be striking at the completely wrong range, especially if you're on defense, right?
Yeah, especially if you constantly have to play around with it, it might be Swift until both Swifts are down. Yeah,
Light, Swift, and Anticipation, I think it's called. Jiu-Jitsu, excuse me. It's on Anticipation. Those are definitely the main boosts you want to watch out for. So, like, later in the game, if Renea still happens to be on front side, which I don't think will be the case, it's definitely easier to read what kind of boosts are in play, but generally on front side, you're just going to have to assume the worst. As we see Renea take a step forward, spending the focus to do so. Now telegraphing maybe range 3 mix-up.
Yeah, for sure. Spending a focus and or reading to do so, pretty well move.
Not really, not having the Strafe Fire either, right? Strafe Fire is such a. I mean, Strafe Fire is always going to hit. The transform on it can be super important for Renea, especially because their power numbers aren't the best. But if you're able to get 2 continuous boosts out, then suddenly those power numbers look a lot better. So we see the Carmine Offering is meant to move to range 1. Notably, Jeanette does have Recursion on her Charnel Blast boost. So I see a lot of Jeanette players actually go for like a Carmine Offering loop setup with that. So discarding it early is not the biggest deal.
It seems like that was probably to disarm the
range 3 mix-up.
Yeah.
So we see Renea boost a second time, matched by the Light. Early boost war here. You don't really see these too often in Season 2 on turn 1.
Especially from a D-Gen at range 1.
Yeah, range 1 without the gauge for a second Carmine Offering. Spending the Light there. So we see the EX Paranormal transformed here. So this allows Renea to sustain continuous boosts at the cost of 2 force. Very, very strong.
Yeah, it being 2 force can be fairly expensive, so if you don't have an Ultra in hand, you have to be fairly confident in the hand options or Wild Swing.
Well, I mean, Ashlyn has... This is the board that she set up last turn. She still has it because Renea hasn't boosted again. So let's see if she maybe goes for a strike here. to try to defuse the face-down continuous boost that Renee has, or tries to set up even further. Because Hans basically took an ult turn there just to get that transformed. And yeah, it's going to be additional power boosted. +2/+2 now for Jeanette. Renee just preps saying, okay, I'm happy with the position. I'll take a look at Jeanette's kit.
Yeah, this feels like...
Text the earlier boost. Text the Conspiracy Unearthed.
That does feel like a good tech, I think.
I mean, text the earlier one. Although I can't honestly, I can't remember what the timing was for the second boost. I can't remember if it was at range 3 or range 2. I'm pretty sure the second boost was also at range 4. So it is kind of like a crapshoot on which one you want to tech, I believe, if that was the case.
Though I think getting of Unearthed is generally a good call, because revealing Handed Foe for a character whose option set can be as telegraphed as D-Jans is pretty debilitating. Not to mention getting one of those options stolen for enemy gauge is rough.
As the speed gets teched from Hans, speed getting teched, meaning that, I mean, Cross is just a free option, right? Cross is now not so free at range 1. If you just want to hit and try to defuse the boost, especially because Renea on her specials actually has 0 defenses on all of these cards.
Yeah. Pretty rough, since, again, she has to play around this potentially being Swift, which means a speed 9 Grasp or speed 8 Cross or speed 7 Assault just beats basically anything.
Yeah, although Jeanette now
is... range that isn't maybe Charnel.
Yeah, well, Jeanette is definitely now incentivized to go slow here with a +2 power, but I mean, it all depends. I mean, now especially so with the defend, although now with speed, like Assault can come into play. 6 power Assault catches everything but Cross. With 4 defense surges are generally going to be enough, unless this is a fierce boost. And I mean, Renee just content to sit here and build.
Really slow game starting.
Yep, just season 2 things, really.
Yeah, but usually it's slow for a different reason.
I mean, both players are going to be allowed to build up cards and get their important transforms down. Like the Black Death for Jeanette, or the Stray Fire for Renea. What are Renee's other... And we actually see the Ley Lines. So Ley Lines is basically just reads your Exceed costs 2 less, which is good, because, I mean, Jeanette's backside Exceed is really scary when she is able to attack on the +3 power. I think it's definitely way better than the front side.
Yeah, and at the very least, change cards boost makes...
Yeah, sure, it's not completely useless either, yeah. You're absolutely correct in that.
It means she's really down on the options she really wants.
Except for those of you that are not familiar with Season 2, especially some of our newer viewers who have, come in during Season 6, these Season 2 characters, they have a mechanic where if you have a transform out, which are these permanents, you can't get rid of them, kind of boosts your character. So we see a strike from Renea, initiating a strike here, and we have +3 power, +3 speed. Could this be a 7 speed lethal force? Notably, lethal force is not beatable. Actually, lethal force does still lose to focus, I believe, because of the defend boost. But we'll take a look at lethal force here. I mean, I think you want to try to respond with focus if you've got it. You don't have a ton of value on the board, so blocking is still... I think blocking is okay here.
Yeah. That's generally the answer when... Yep.
Yep, and lethal force would be...
Aisling calling the obvious answer.
Yep.
which is pretty spooky considering it ignores armor.
Ashley's just gonna go for the
All right.
focus here. Looks like the Black Death, which does have 8 guard, so that's enough. But throwing away a Black Death could be. Wait, Black Death loses. Oh no, it doesn't. It's a retreat
no, it
one.
doesn't.
It's a retreat one.
It's a
Oh,
push.
No.
It's a push
You
and
don't
retreat.
I thought it was push and move. Okay. Good. Okay, so I mean, throwing the Black Death there, I mean, it's risky because Black Death is your best transform, but she's able to have it pay off. Will take 8 damage. Is not stunned because she has exactly 8 guard. Renea will retreat back to push to range 3 and retreat back to range 4. Sorry, for some reason I thought Lethal Force was a move one if you have a continuous boost in play. And then Asher will hit back for 8 and get her most important transform out as well. With the Black Death.
Yeah.
So pretty
Honestly,
pretty
I
explosive
think-
turn 1.
Yeah, I think honestly Iceland kind of won the strike.
I agree.
All things considered.
I agree.
Especially since she has all 3 transforms in play now.
Renea initiated. She spent 3 relatively high value boosts on that. Right, 2 of them, especially in the light and the tactical training. I will say following leads is a decent transform. I think move end is generally an underrated action in Exceed. But this Black Death is just so critical to Jeanette gameplay, I think. It looks like we do have the expenditure of 2 force to retain the light at range.
Understandable.
At range
Though-
1.
Going by how I've heard Iceland value things, that only tends to matter if Hans has a good otherwise below curve follow up, because if it's neutral range 1 mix, then like it doesn't really change any of
Well,
those
I mean,
outcomes.
Renee can now boost and move is the only thing with the following leads.
And
It is expensive, but
she's in perfect position for a free Exceed DJan, so
let me take a look at the
now
Devil's
things
Own
get
here.
very scary.
So when you exceed, your kind of lousy spell circle becomes the really scary Diabolic Aura. We'll take a look at Diabolic Aura here. For each card in your Diabolic Aura, continue your range to the opponent plus 3 power. And not only that, with the Ritual Magic Transform, Jeanette can now add a card to the Diabolic Aura. I believe she draws a card off that, and then she may spend 1 force to immediately strike. So she has plus 3 power now strike for the rest of the game. Essentially. That combined with Jeanette's just absolute plethora of fast options, including an ignore guard for only 1 gauge, is extremely scary to deal with. So we see Renea boost again. Interestingly, did not choose to spend the force to move off of that. So resolving a boost on this transform means that you do it when you play him face down, not when you flip him face up. And Jeanette has a full hand here too, so she can just maybe try to let a slow rip, and maybe Hans is really incentivized to play cross here, especially with one Black
definitely.
Death down. With 1 Black Death down, which is the quote unquote cross catcher, but I mean, like, I guess you could Charnel to catch a cross. Charnel Blast reads 1 to 4, 6, 1, 3, 4. Or you can just go for a reading here. Interestingly, a reading without no actual. Oh, just calling out the cross. Very interesting. And will we see reading
No
whiffs?
cross.
See a hand. This is not a pretty looking hand. So we see a hand of
You have
1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4 EX Stray Fire at range 1. Renea played Jujitsu. No, Renea played the prep boost. So now return this to hand, then draw a card. I mean, Flare is basically, as long as it's not a speed 7, flares basically don't get hit for the rest of the strike. Right.
Yeah.
So that's like the safe option. I don't think Hans has any reason to go for another option besides that. Because, I mean, speed 8 cross was red, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if speed 8 cross was red, then does... I mean, I guess it could be Charnel still is the issue, so you just have to go for the flare. Like, you could go for, like, a cheeky focus or something, but you'll probably trade with the Charnel if you do so just go for the flare, I think. Take a look at Flare. Renea, for some reason, has multiple range 1 dodges. She has Flare, and she has... Where's that card? Anticipation. Attacks at range 1 don't hit you. Should that R be lowercase on range 1 on Anticipation? I feel like it shouldn't be. No?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's capital on Flare, but it's lowercase on Anticipation. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Just some...
Anyway.
Okay, Speed 7... Speed 7 Flare calls out the Charnel.
Yep. At the very least,
well, I mean, Charnel takes no damage.
Gets armor.
Yeah, Charnel takes no damage. A little bit sad that the Charnel gets no value, just because, I mean, like I said, Summoning Portal, I think, is a really good boost, personally. But obviously, you can just boost the second one to get back your first one and an Ultra. So not the end of the world there, for sure. Hans choosing not to spend
down.
Light. Yeah. Light goes down.
So that's one light down.
One light, one tact, or one light, one swift down. Swift, of course, being... It's not actually called Swift in Season 2, it's called Tactical Training, but +1/+1.
Boost going into Spook immediately.
Yep, and we'll take a look at Spook here. When you succeed, put the top 3 cards of your opponent's discard pile with boosts into your briefcase. Your attacks have hit, put the bottom card of the opponent's discard pile with a boost in your briefcase. So we'll take a look at why briefcase is so good here. You may boost with a card in this area once per turn. If that boost did not cause a strike, take another action. So just immense action pressure on this character.
Especially since they got Summoning Portal from it.
Yeah, and Summoning Portal got yoinked as well. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. As we see, Hans just... he's just revealing the cards that were already known. Ashlyn does have a second reading. So, I mean, if she has it, she can go for it here and get a little bit of damage on the board. And, of course, she can replenish them just by hitting the opponent. So put the bottom card of the opponent's discard pile with a boost into your briefcase. Very, 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 very strong character. At the very least, Renea will spend a turn at some point to transform that Stray Fire, because that is just so important to making sure this character has enough power. The Stray Fire transform just goes a long way. Way back to Jeanette here. Jeanette does have a turn where she doesn't have to deal with any boosts. Actually, just going to boost Light herself. No gauge, however, so, I mean, can't threaten, like, the super fast 5-power Carmine Offering. I mean, I guess it doesn't really need speed with the assortment of boosts that Renea currently has out. Okay, so we're going to see Renea boost power, take another action, and backstep. Backsteps to range 4, where that EX Stray Fire is just a dominant speed option. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but... I mean, with the Fierce Out, does do some damage, but... Yeah, I mean, Fierce with draw 2 on it is still a good play. Still a very, very good play.
If the light on Icing wasn't in play, would be also a good place to threaten Cold Shot, since Hans does have a read-in.
Mm-hmm. Nope, unfortunately, no more face-down boosts. A lot of these Season 2 characters, they have side grades for Exceeds. I guess Jeanette's a weird one, where, like, her side grade is just way better. and as is like Renea probably, but
Yeah, and
they're different characters really.
yeah, and Cyrus is a weird one where, at least in my experience as a Cyrus main, Lord of the Deep is very much the better character in the vast majority of two matchups.
So we see the Death Knell boosted, so that's Enervation. That's going to be -1 range for both players. The only downside about this is that Renea can always obviously still boost and move, so she can just move to range 3. Although it's only the opponent's attacks, interesting. I thought it was both. I thought it was like Arcune, but no, it's only the opponent's attacks have -1 range. So this can fiddle with the speed curve a little bit. And yeah, it just gets teched immediately. Don't want to deal with that. I mean, Ashen also did spend just 4 force total on that, right? With the Ultra, the block, and the cross. Oh, Ashen drew second reading. That's not good. I mean, she's going to get... But again, no value with the Diabolic Aura, so this is not going to be a ton of damage. Actually, just kidding. It is. It's the second Black Death. I thought it would be something like the 0-3, 3-5, but no, it's the Black Death. Pulls in the spike, dealing 6 damage. Ashley now takes life lead. Standing at range 1 as well, which is probably the place where the Devil Zone wants to be at to threaten those +3 power fast options. Although with only 1 card in hand, which is a little sketchy, but only if the Spook is able to take advantage of that. And Han's like really trying to get value out of this EX Strayfire instead of just immediately transforming it right away, which is definitely an interesting decision. I mean, Strayfire is a card that generally you expect to hit quite often, right? Because it's a billion speed at range 4. But hasn't been able to do so yet. And not really like in a position to do so either.
Yeah, and especially since it feels like a really good transform in this matchup.
Yes, in general, I mean, this transform Double Down is very good. So we see the Summoning Portal come out. Jeanette's boost. Spends the Anticipation. Obviously can get back the Anticipation if he wants. Naturally will do so. And not only on top of that, there's a second action that comes into play as well. So it takes back the Anticipation which was spent and the Sweep. Actually just going for a raw strike here. One card. It's just weird. I mean, just trying to catch Ashlyn off guard with only the 1 card in hand.
Yeah, obviously can't be Anticipation or Strayfire, so...
Profane Sanctuary will do okay. I mean, it's 3 for 3. Ashlyn draws a card, immediately discards it. Profane Sanctuary has Blood Ritual on it, which is not the transform you want, but I mean, Ashlyn has all the transforms she needs already. Yeah, just pop it and engage. Seems good to me. Renea just striking with the sweep right away. It doesn't really get the full value. I mean, gets the discard, which I guess is nice, but I think Ashlyn was going to be drawing cards anyway on her turn.
Getting value from
the ley lines
there, potentially?
Yeah, ley lines here. Yes, you see 1 draw 3. Nice. So we see the Anticipation come out, or in the form of Jiu-Jitsu, +1 power now, move 1. We're now at range 2, threatening that speed 7 lethal force, but I mean, still can get caught by... All the sweeps are down, so only the Charnel will hit that speed 7 option back at 4 power. With after retreat 1 on it, I believe. Yeah, after retreat 1. So still anybody's game here. I think Ashley means strafe when she says EX Flare. Yeah, okay, she does. Flare is the range dodge.
Yeah, and the fact she kept Gage in this position.
Oh, did we miss that? Oh yeah, we totally missed that. Spook gets a boost for hitting. Is it mandatory? It is mandatory. I thought it was optional.
Yeah.
So gets the Carmine Offering. Honestly, just getting the Carmine Offering is super good here. I mean, that boost is obviously insane. Especially if Renee can kind of get away from Jeanette with both of her Black Deaths down. But just like holding it hostage is also pretty reasonable as well. Okay, and here we see the first use of the Diabolic Aura. So pops a card in there, spends a force. Should be drawing off the Diabolic Aura as well. Okay, there it is. Draws, strikes with another card anyway. Spends the Profane Sanctuary from hand. Strikes with the same cards. This is +3 power. If is the check's on a hit, which is weird that cross goes in. If the check's on a hit, that's weird that the cross goes in the Diabolic Aura, unless it's just Carmine Offering, which would outspeed the Speed 7 Lethal Force. Not Lethal Force, Straight Fire. Right, otherwise cross going in the Diabolic Aura doesn't really make sense because you know Renee's retreating if you're trying to trade. But yeah, this is just Speed 7 Carmine Offering at 5 power. That's going to be very difficult to beat unless you just have a block.
Yeah, I was going to say the fact that she kept a Gage in a low hand situation definitely telegraphs Carmine Offering.
Yeah. Absolute monstrous card. And the fact that Jeanette can recur it to, like, getting these early so for the people that don't know, I don't think Jeanette is a super strong character. I think she's a little bit inconsistent. But when she can get this kind of game plan going, then it's very difficult to beat her, I think. Has all the transforms that she needs. Has flipped on relatively high health total. Actually has life lead, 19 to 13 in this position. Things are looking very good for Jeanette here. Excuse me, the Devil's Own. Okay, I mean, I guess this technically could be a bluff. Could be. I don't think it is, just with this kind of low resource size. So I don't think Renee ever throws the X-Ray Fire. But maybe she throws something else to counter that. I don't think she does, but maybe there's a world where Hans thinks that is the case and does something a little crazy. I don't think we're in that world, but maybe. Nope, just goes for the block.
All right. Sensible.
Yep, into the Carmine Offering. So this is 5 power ignore guard. Hit effect is mostly useless here. Actually, just 100% useless. Does tech the anticipation, however. And Renee does not get hit, so does not get a boost. Spends Grasp from hand and a Sweep from Gage to not take anything. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Although that is a fierce down.
Tends to go that the lower life tends to go the more that actually come into block is sensible.
The fierces are not down. Although I will say, don't look at the card tracker. It's super wrong. It's not even close to being right.
Raw strike again.
Probably just single lethal force or straight fire again. Straight fire gets blocked. Okay. Block gets to Gage for free. Another boost for Renee. She gets the tech. Straight Fire Transform, which is the can be the good one. If Renee is able to get 2 continuous boosts out. The only continuous boost she has in her briefcase is that Dominion over the Earth for now. So not a whole lot of flex. Actually, no, just kidding. That's a super flexible boost. I was about to say there's a whole lot of flexibility there, but that boost in and of itself, it's just super flexible anyway. This game could go either direction. Ashlyn has the life lead, but is definitely down on resources, even if she decides to prep. But can just throw out big red numbers.
In this position, I'd probably
actually going for the reshuffle. Yeah, reshuffle. I mean, now you have a period of time where Renee can't get more boosts out of you. I mean, Jeanette only had 6 cards left to her name. Probably this is as good of a time as you're gonna get now. Unfortunately, as Ashley notes in the chat, both Carmines are not in her possession. One is in the briefcase, and one is in the
usual closer.
Yeah,
is off the table.
We're gonna have to find something else here for Jeanette. Reminder: Renee does have an above curve option in second straight fire in her hand, so that's also an option that Jeanette will have to deal with, whether that be with a defender or a faster option or something like that.
Yep, going for the reshuffle. Overall, just really unfortunate advantage for the Spook because of getting some very good boosts play in the briefcase.
Okay, Hans just noting what cards were left over. Yeah, I mean, maybe there was. I don't think there was a very strong argument. Maybe there was an argument for trying to draw for the charnel to recur Carmine, right? It's like CC, but it's just too. It's pretty slow. Is doing anything. Renee does only have 3 cards in hand, but the line would be something like CC with the CC with the Carmine offering, excuse me, or just prep. And then spend the Carmine offering to hopefully boost Charnel to get the Carmine offering back before you do that. But it's just incredibly slow, and Ashley probably didn't have the time to do that, especially with the straight fire, double down, now down. So you can't let Renee stack boosts really. But I guess that was a line if she really felt like she needed the Carmine offering to win the game. Okay, Renee just preps. I think Ashley probably follows suit here. She's looking at the left. She's looking like she wants to play a card here. Maybe thinking of CC. Drops 4 and get 5. Drops 3 force for the moment. Okay. CC's 3, drawing 5 in total. Back to that fresh hand. I wonder why she kept the gauge. I don't think she's going for a death now, so I wonder why she kept the gauge. See, Renee strike immediately into this. Again, just
she does
another strike
definitely
without
need to get options.
Oh, wow. The Bloodthorns will go first. We'll hit for 3. The Spike will go second and hit back for 5. It's a spicy spike there for sure.
Yeah, arguably still in Jan's favor.
Oh yeah, no, not only that,
Because
now Jeanette's closer, which is bad. Yoinks the assault. Notably, that change cards action put that Carmine close to the bottom. For Renea to grab in the future. But, I mean, now Jeanette has a full hand and can almost assuredly play a +3 power card on curve here. So see the spike drop into the Diabolic Aura for +3 power. She draws 1 off the UA and then may spend a force to strike.
definitely need to make some big commits here. She's running low on potential resources after a reshuffle.
I mean, this is almost assuredly on curve. Though notably, I don't think we've seen a Renea cross yet. So that is an unlikely option in Hans's hand, but that would stuff Jeanette quite hard here. I think Jeanette could even lose off that. But Ashlyn just taking the bet that Hans doesn't have the EX cross in hand. I mean, it is time to go here for Devil Zone. You can't really let Hans build up a bigger hand. If Jeanette wants to go slightly under curve here, she could play like a 7 power assault. I don't think cross is winning. Single cross. Yeah, it's the affliction here. So the affliction.
Oh, yeah.
Affliction will do 6 gain advantage.
This feels like this might be the turnaround.
I'm assuming Hans just like took a bet there. Cause I feel like this single cross is never gonna win combat. I don't know. I just felt like Jeanette had no reason to go under curve there. Like I like briefly suggested it, but I didn't really believe it. You know, like it just felt like Jeanette had no reason to go under curve. Anyway, Jeanette yoinks advantage with the hit effect on affliction. Can she close out the game here? Drops the focus into the Diabolic Aura. Draws 1. Can spend a force to strike if she so chooses. Now, when you see that single cross down, now you can play under curve. Now you can play like an assault. Now you can go for an assault here because you see Hans drop a single cross.
Yeah, going for the assault seems like the good commit here, just in case.
Hans had the block. Okay, just goes for cross. This is a 6 power cross. Yep, 6 power cross. Jeanette should move back to range 4. That's a little sketch playing cross there, just because now you're kind of far away. You do have 1 Black Death in your hand, but Hans just preps, so...
Though she does kind of have life lead and at relatively low numbers, so she can afford to go for things like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Spook is down a lot of contests at that range. Does still have one flare in play.
The thing is, Spook can still in theory stack 2 continuous boosts for 2 strikes and hit for 7 power each. It's not, she's not down and out for sure. Just the raw action compression with the briefcase is just so insanely good. Yep, Jeanette says can't let you get away. Moves to range 1, I'm assuming. Yeah, there it is. I mean, Hans just probably boosts assault and then takes another action. Yep, and there it is. The backstep. Backstep prep. What is Hans prepping for? I wonder. So yeah, big apologies for the viewers. The card tracker is just so off on Hans' side, it's not even funny.
Potentially,
I have no idea
the
what
other
Hans is prepping for.
neutralizer.
Depends on what he thinks his end game is, really. I mean, it's gonna take at least 2 combats, if not more, for Hans to win this game. And he's gotta go. If he's initiating, he's gotta go on curve. If he's defending, definitely gotta go above curve against Jeanette. And I mean, even Jeanette, from a farther range, with the Curse the Earth, can represent above curve options on offense as well. So we see an expenditure of 2 force, probably to move to range 2. Will she spend any more? Oh, CC. Interesting. Maybe looking for the Black Death?
Definitely has to. Her remaining post reshuffle deck is looking on the low side.
I don't think Deckout's going to be playing a big factor into this, but yeah. I mean, her options aren't... She doesn't have too many options. The Black Death is an option that beats straight fire as well. If Hans just goes for a quote-unquote safe play. Even with 2 boosts out, I believe Hans has no access to Fierce. So the max damage he can do on a straight fire is 5, which is not enough to pop the defenses of the Black Death. Still has that plus 0 to 2 range boost sitting in his briefcase. Okay, goes for the reading here. Yep.
Pretty safe at
Read Sweep.
this hand.
Read Sweep. Sweep's a weird one because it implies he's not going for a dive. Which means if he's like if he misses this reading and he's hard telegraphing a straight fire, Jeanette could respond with something like a Black Death. Didn't have it though. Just blocks this. I just feel like this is straight fire. But I don't know, I could be wrong. Renee doesn't really have any other... Oh, it could be Call Shot. It is the Call Shot. So name a card. The opponent must discard a copy of that card or reveal a hand without any. If they discard a card, plus 6 power. This is going to be a 6 power of something.
Would be ideal players probably get the death knell.
Yeah, get rid of the
removes
force.
The potential checkmate from play and gets rid of the biggest source of force in hand.
Not only that, I mean, Enervation's looking like... Oh, there's a dive in here, never mind. I was about to say, maybe Enervation's looking like a good boost here, but not with the dive in the discard here. So we see hand of EX Charnel, Death Knell, Profane Sanctuary, and Cross. Notably, I'm pretty sure the second Carmine offering will be going to the briefcase, so there is no Carmine recursion allowed for Jeanette. Okay, names the Black Knell, the Death Knell, excuse me, so this can be 6 power coming in. Yep, and there's the Carmine. Both Carmines now in the briefcase for Renea. Although Renea running out of space behind her, which means that boost is going to be less and less reliable. Ashlyn calling out that Renea has Flare in hand. Relatively safe call out. 5 in hand, 3 in deck, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't realize the set was going to take so long. I hope I have time to see the whole thing. But this game's been going... Ashlyn... So the reason I was confident taking this match, because Ashlyn's a pretty fast player, but this game's already been going on for an hour.
Yeah. She, like I said earlier, she definitely respects Renee's options, so she's definitely taking a while to really think about what to do here.
Drops a Charnel and takes 2. What was the third card in her hand? Sanctuary. Profane Sanctuary is 0 to 3, 3, 6. She took 2.
Ah, yeah.
She's at 14. So notably what Ashlyn is talking about is you can also strike after resolving a boost as Jeanette. Funnily enough. It's a often forgotten part of ritual magic. So in theory, Jeanette can run up to Renee's face, strike with something immediately after that.
Yeah. Running into channel is a solid play since at the current board state.
Okay, we're going to see the run come out. Spending a force to strike.
In this board position, channel can hit basically
Charnel hits whole board. Yeah. And this is a mix. This is a 50-50 as well. Although I'm not sure I should shuffle her hand before playing it, which is kind of suspect. It's like in theory we know what this is. But it's a Charnel Profane mix-up. Festal mix-up. We know that Renan doesn't have any speedy options to deal with it.
Yeah. Does she have Spike? She does have Spike, so this could be very bad.
Does who have Spike?
Renee has the second Spike, potentially.
Does she?
Yeah.
Alright, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait, no.
I'm pretty sure she doesn't.
My mistake.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she doesn't. Okay, goes for the lethal force. Guess is wrong. We'll take 3 damage for that, down to 1 HP. Gets the blood ritual transformed. Why? Why not go for... Why not have extra force? I guess you don't really need extra force now.
Also, I had to double check because I forgot DJN has 4 whole transforms.
Yeah, Jeanette has 4 transforms and the Charnel. Okay, finally we see the Dominion over the Earth come out paired with a light. So now super above curve.
Which is also fierce because of double down.
Because of double down, correct. But hopefully this is not too little too late. Hans has 4 in hand, 2 in deck. So if the card tracker was more accurate, we know what those 6 options are. We don't know what they are. But, I mean, Hans needs 2 of these strikes to win the game, basically. We see a change cards 1, drawing 3, dropping the Black Death to do so. That ley line's actually getting way more value than generally from what I see from Jeanette players.
Yeah. It helps that Iceland
yeah, it helps that Ashlyn's
is actually good.
Aggressive player. Able to take advantage of that. Hans just goes for the prep. His hand is known now. See a hand of 1/5/6, Straight Fire, Neutralizer, and Flare.
Flare is very rude right now.
It's very rude.
Way of the Warrior.
It's very rude. It's only 5 damage though, so that means the next strike, if Renee wants to win in 2 strikes, it has to deal 7 is the only thing. But the flare is rude, it just wins combats. Yeah, it's true. Luckily, I believe Ashlyn's out of readings, so can't just auto-punish here.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unknown hands.
Yeah, both focuses are down. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, Ashlyn not out of the woods just yet.
Yeah, she just has to survive this 1 strike.
Okay, we like funny plays here. Let's see it. The Summoning Portal.
Oh, wait.
This'll
She can return the
return your
reading.
focus, yeah, and force Hans to CC. Returns EX focus even. You return EX focus because now your focus can't get red. Your singular focus. Which Jeanette only has 6 cards left. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't actually read anything here. Because if you read a card, Ashland responds with 1 focus, and then you get red in turn. And you can't read play Assault to gain advantage because it's only 6 power.
Yeah. Very spicy spot. Very well done on her end.
That's actually really well spotted, I agree. Will this force out the CC action from Hans? CC3, draw 4. Fortunately, it's not the highest tempo play, but maybe one that you have to make. Wonder if Hans now pivots to a plan where he tries to deck out Jeanette now that he recognizes that there's only 2 cards left. He's on short-sided board, does have a cross in hand, but I mean, he's got to be CCing this turn.
Definitely could go for the cross.
Notably, well, no, can't play cross here because then he just gets red afterward. But wait, goes for a reading. Oh, is he gonna read something that's not the focus? Or or maybe he just calculated the cards and says, okay, there's no way to punish me afterward. There's no way to punish the normal I've left. I mean, the only issue is like if he keeps like a cross, if he keeps like an assault in hand, for example, plays cross here. Jeanette can obviously go above curve with the Curse the Earth, which can be a problem. Depending on what Jeanette has left in her deck. I'm actually going to take a peek and see what Jeanette has left in her deck.
Alright, what's the reading?
Okay, it reads the focus.
Reading the focus.
Obviously,
okay.
obviously only a single focus comes out. It is the cross. Oh, I guess, maybe this is okay because Renee can sustain the light. And then maybe if Renee is okay, sustains the light. So maybe Jeanette is out of fast options, so can't punish the assault. Is maybe the thought process there. Oh, or you could just spend force from hand.
Yep, diffuses the reading.
Of course, let's take a look at this transform one more time. Which means, I mean, having the focus read red means that Spook still needs 2 cards to win. Which can be an issue if we're going for... Oh, okay, my count was completely off. Which can be an issue if we're going for an HP win, but maybe we're transitioning to deck out now.
Yeah. it feels like a pretty bad decision because Boot can just light flare and sustain that, then light neutralizer to close.
Actually, noting that the 2-force saved Spookier. So fast option for Jeanette. She only has 1, which is quite weird. It's a speed 6 Profane Sanctuary. 0-2-3-6 plus 3 armor after draw card. Does Jeanette will be very hard pressed to even be able to boost light here to try to contest speed. These season 2 endgames, they're like no other season, where it's just the endgames are actually quite complicated, require a good amount of forethought. Jeanette going for the wild swing. This is probably going to get met by the flare, but then maybe Jeanette has a plan afterward. So what wild swing is this? Probably just like a throwaway sweep. Yeah, it is throwaway sweep. But I'm pretty sure the plan is to win on this turn.
Yeah, at the very least, neutralizer doesn't kill.
Okay. Well, this has got to be... This almost has to be a CC from Hans here, right? He can't win with these. He can't win with only the neutralizer. He could boost in CC. Oh wait, no, he just boosts Fierce and then strikes with a neutralizer. He has Fierce in here. And even if he didn't have Fierce... Han just goes for the prep here. I mean, this is an 8 damage neutralizer at 8 speed.
Yeah, and it's 8 speed, so yeah, understand.
Why did he not just strike with it? Was there something that I'm missing?
Yeah, this just gives... this just gives her a Hail Mary focus attempt.
Yeah, just a reading. Yeah, you just had to go for a reading here for your Jeanette. Why did Hans not just strike with the 1-2-6-8 there? Ignore guard. Take a look at this card here. Right? Like that seemed pretty checkmatey to me. Because of the Fierce and the double down. This is 8 power. Sorry, so it's 1-2-8-8, not 6-8. And that pops the 2 armor. I think
it's gonna have to come down to the reading.
That pops the 2 armor on the focus. So I don't know why Hans didn't just strike with us.
Though trying to figure out what to read is very hard because 4 power beats many things here.
Well, you have to read like probably read like a focus or something. Read something that has 2 copies of, right? Or you read Spike, just because Spike always misses. And there's 2 copies of it.
Alright. The moment of truth?
No.
Unfortunately not.
That is going to be game. Although, Oh, Jeanette's just going to attack herself out. Amazing. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Renea will kill with this 8 power neutralizer. Takes game 1. And, like we said, Renea could come back, right? Jeanette had the life lead, but a little bit of a interesting end game there for Renea, and just Renea with the 1-2-8-8 ignore guard. I mean, that card is just always going to win combat, right? Ashlyn saying she shouldn't have taken that 4th transform. I was wondering why she did that. Just like a useless, like, There's actually just no reason to. Well, that's gonna be game 1. I don't know if I'll be able to see all of game 2, honestly, because it's already been like an hour and a half.
All right, that's Renee out. I wonder what the picks are going to be.
I'm sorry, I'm back. Just had to do something real quick, but this is a best of 3 tournament. Should be right. So I'm assuming it's standard rules. Hans has the Ulrich and the Evo left.
Yep.
Ashlyn can re-up with the Jeanette, or can play the Taisei or the... What's their second character? Devris.
She's to call the Ulrich. She's probably going to go Dejanette again. That's the least worst option against Ulrich.
We do see the Devris into the Eva. So,
Huh.
I was wrong on both fronts there.
Probably just trying to call the
Oh wait, not to
Dejan to try and get that out.
Is
with a
Eva
3-1.
too spicy for YouTube? Is Eva too spicy for YouTube? I'm pretty sure she's like just naked on a couple of these cards. Oh, I hope not. I might not be able to finish this set, which is kind of awkward. Because I assumed that would be done in under 2 hours. We'll take a look at Loot. What is this? Is this some sort of anime character?
It's I think it's a I think that's a Fire Emblem character.
I see.
Yeah, that's the Devris
I
palette.
do not play Fire Emblems. We're just gonna turn the card tracker off at this point. We're just gonna turn everything off.
And this feels like this definitely feels like Eva will kind of lose, since she has to boost war to do anything, and like you're trying to boost war against Devris.
Against Devris, yeah. Devris has. I've only played Devris once, and this guy's good. This guy's very good, I think. Just so much force generation with the UA. Cheap Exceed to get even more force generation. Look at some of these boosts, like Lash of Hellfire free boost plus range plus speed. Infernal Power +3/+3. Like Demon Bond, such a good hit confirm ultra as well.
And Pact of Blood is the most absolutely criminal boost in Exceed.
Yep. Very, very good. Gain 9 force for 4 life. Not bad. Where's... I feel like this card, Marked for Death, just never loses combat. Okay, so we see, I believe that was a turn 1 prep from Ashlyn into the run from Eva running to range 2, and then we're going to see Ashlyn run to range 1. Take a look at Eva's kit here. So Eva's UA first and foremost. I guess we alluded to Devers' UA, but Devers can generate force from gauge, extra force from gauge if he spends gauge instead.
Going for the light boost.
And then Eva has after you may return one of your in-play continuous boosts to your hand. She's a boost-oriented character. Really, really low damage. I mean, look at these numbers, right? Very, very low damage. Has an additional range boost, has like a little power boost. Revoke is like a funny thing to watch out for, because it just yoinks your opponent's boost. Extra armor, extra speed if your opponent passes turn. And then like bad ultra boosts, I think. Yeah, not great ultra boosts. But relatively low damage character. Devers just gonna match the speed with the fierce. Eva puts her
most
fierce
of
on.
most of Eva's specials are kind of tech options to keep her boost game in play.
Mm-hmm. We see the defend come out. Now we're gonna see the mandatory upgrades. So this is attempting to coax Ashlyn into striking here.
Yeah.
Oh,
because obviously, if you try to boost warp, she just sits there and gets more powerful.
Yep. Nobody with the defend boost. Oh, we're actually just gonna see Ashlyn spend 3 force in the form of Demon Bond and a second copy of Cross to boost a billion armor. Now it's 5 armor and 5 guard. With the hard cast on the Infernal armor.
Yeah, obviously no spike at this range, so yeah, unless
you backstep, right?
Yep.
Although spike is still under curve, here's the issue. At range 2.
Yeah.
Eva doesn't have
Would
any
be a
options, right?
Very good place to go for
Riot.
Phantasmal Might, probably.
Or Riot Machine. Although Riot Machine doesn't break guard is the issue, so I mean it only does like 3 power after all the armor that Devers has. Ashlyn says Riot Machine for 11. It's 11. Will Devers be stunned? Devers actually will be stunned. Devers has 5 armor and 5 guard. Why is it not yet 11? There's 3 continuous boosts, so it's 7. And then there's 2 on mandatory upgrade and 2 on fierce. That's 11. Yeah, it's 11. Just barely pops the defenses of Devers' 5 armor, 5 guard here. So that's it's pretty scary, but Ashlyn can in theory just trade up on that with like a sweep. Or you can just parry it. Parry successful. Back to Eva here. Has 3 boosts to her name. Almost getting full value out of the upgrade. I wonder if Hans has been playing rather defensively thus far. I mean, he's a defensive player. Wonder if he just wonder if he takes a non-strike action to let this mandatory upgrades go through. And yeah, there's the prep. Yeah, put that counter on there for him. Yeah, okay, good. Sure, just take the counters
might as well.
Whatever. Just now back to Ashlyn here. Who has +5/+5 on defenses with +2 power against +5 power +2 speed from Eva. So I mean, the only really sad thing there is Eva somehow able to land a spike, but outside of that, there's not that much power coming through because Devers has just enough armor to to offset however much power Eva is throwing at her. As Eva, you can't even play something like a cross, because cross will get caught by a card like Mark for Death or the Summoned Assailant. So
Going for the reading
see a
to
reading.
defuse the strike.
Reads a block. Reading misses. We see a hand of 3, 5, 6, EX Shifting Technology, Riot Machine, Plasma Barrage. We're going for the spike here. Calls out the Drain Life. That is going to be a 10 damage spike there. Pops all those armor boosts that Ashlyn had up. And wow, that's an explosive turn 1.
Though, as Iceland has said to me at one point, if you're going to lose the spike, it's better to lose the spike now.
Okay, and Eva takes back the sweep as per her UA. And immediately boosts it. So now we're looking at 7-speed Assault, 8-speed Cross here. Not the scariest combats, but you are down 10 life as Devers. Actually think about conceding here.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of understand that.
Like, not a big looking hand. Yeah, no hands. Down 10 life. The concede. Well, I mean, we won't let it go through until she says the words "I concede." Hans wants to play out. Ashlyn wants to play out. The Pact of Tome comes out. So there's the full reload. Actually, Hans has to discard a card. That's like the Power of Order boost. Okay, so Hans is forced to discard a card here. Ashlyn should be pulling a card here. Someone pull a card. Anyone pull a card. You pull a card. Nice. Okay, good. Okay, discards the second copy of Upgrade, so no more mandatory upgrades. It's a big source of power gone for Eva, actually, with both those boosts and a Fierce down. We see 2 force for the Liberation at the start of each of the opponent's turn at the top card of discard to gauge. So this is really, really saying, hey, Devers, please strike into me. Unless you want Eva to continue just building resources.
Yeah. Especially with light in play, Hans and Chaos is a very real threat.
We know a lot of Hans's hand. I believe it was something like EX Shifting Technology. Oh, I guess one of those is down. I believe he still has a cross in hand. He spent the Assault. Has drawn 2 cards, I want to say, since we last saw actually only 1 card, I believe, since we last saw the hand. So there's 1 Shifting Technology, 1 cross, 1 card that I can't remember, and an unknown card. Oh wow, Devers is going for the dark strength here. Draw a card and pay force for +1 power. We'll have to discard for end of turn because Ashlyn drew up to 8 there. So not really getting great value out of this, especially without the gauge either, right? As we see Hans just prep, Happy to build gauge. Now it's built 2 gauge off the liberation. Wait. I'm just making sure that he... Okay. Okay, cool. So I wanted to make sure that Hans was doing it from discard, not deck, because he was doing some like weird flippy things with it. We're seeing the Pact of Blood come out, and yep. I mean, you're not getting full value out of it just yet, but you need resources here.
Yeah, as Devris, you really need resources to get going. Like she said, if you're this behind on life,
yeah,
and against an opponent that can implicitly punish you for
either going for the
taking down turns.
Take a look at the exceed side. After she still can recur. Oh my god, this picture's... I think I'm gonna have to censor that. We now see the +3/+3 come out, but Eva can now play 2 continuous boosts in her turn as a single action. Well, Ashlyn now has +3/+3, which will get yoinked. Riot Machine says thank you very much. I'll take that.
Yeah, that's so gross.
Yep. And well, that's really bad. It's demoralizing as well. Although at the very least, that's both Riot Machines down. So doesn't have to worry about that until reshuffle. Ashley now forced to tech her own boost. Eva still has +2 speed and is gaining gauge via the liberation. Has now gained 4 gauge off the liberation, I believe. Yeah, I don't think Hans took a turn. And now it is Hans' turn again. I mean, perfectly content to just sit here and build power. I mean, not power, but build a respectable next strike. Still only has the +2 speed, but now has literally gained 4 gauge off the liberation. That's insane. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, and Iceland is going ahead and conceding, it looks like.
Yep. So that is going to be a 2-0 win for Hans with the Renea over the Jeanette and then the Eva over the Devris. And yeah, that Devris start was just so poor. And Devris is a really strong character, but when he can't get going, he can't get going. He really can't get going, right? Then Ashley just obviously tilted there towards the end, unfortunately.
Eva really feels like a surprisingly bad match for him because Eva can not only just sit there and get stronger with all the downturns Devris has to take for economy, but also fucking the Riot Machine boost.
Riot Machine, yeah, means Devris can't willy-nilly just spend all his resources on these boosts that are normally super good, but not when your opponent steals them, right? Anyway, that's gonna be it for me. Thank you so much to gentlysweeps for joining me for the first time ever. Apologies on the
no problem.
Yeah, apologies on the card tracker for game 1, but I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of busy doing other things in the background, so I wasn't paying full attention. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, feel free to like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Congrats to Hans, excuse me. I always used to think it was Jan, but apparently it's Hans. Hans takes us at 2-0 over Ashlyn. We'll move on. Ashlyn, of course, will drop to lower bracket because I believe this was an upper bracket match.
So she can come beat me in the losers bracket.
Yeah, still has a chance to make it through. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye.